Good morning, beautiful face. I don't care if you haven't brushed your hair yet or brushed your teeth or even showered this week. It's not important. It's Sunday this morning for me, and I'm hoping to get this video out today to you so that it just feels a little bit more relevant because of what I'm coming out of. And this is for the people who are questioning themselves today. I'm gonna turn the radio down. And I was in church this morning. When I go to church, I do like Bible lettering on church notes, service notes, and I'll show them to you because it pertains specifically to what happened this morning. I do this. Some of you know that I like to take notes in a specific way. I use specific colors depending on what I'm doing, how I write the notes. If I do doodles and cartoons next to the notes to kind of anchoring the teaching for me. I use certain tactics in the note taking and in order to ensure that I know what time, like when in the week or when in the day or whatever that I took the notes, if that might help me remember them better. So I've kind of like, you know, gotten familiar with how my brain works and how I can study and how I can remember information. And so note taking is a process for me that way. And so it's not something I do for other people, it's just something that I do. And I've done it since college in these ways where I started to learn. College was the first time that I really had to study, and it was really hard for me. And I needed to be able to take notes that were effective. So long story short, I've evolved my note-taking and note-taking and lettering and writing things in a certain way has become important for me in order to anchor in teachings. So I'm in church, and while I'm in church, I take notes in my Sandra Hasley & Co. journal because it's so freaking wonderful. This is the brand that I love this brand so much, and I've had them customize my own journals for me because these are the only ones I want to use. And then they just feel good and they don't bleed through and everything. So these are the notebooks I always use when I go to church and when if I ever listen to sermons online. This isn't about church today. This is about what I'm doing and what happened, and for you to not give up, to not question yourself. So I've been doing this for years, and I can go back and look at all of my stuff and see. I remember what I write. And I've got my headphones, I have my headphones on because when I'm done with this, when the church service is done, I put headphones on immediately and I finish up my notes for a couple of minutes. Like it'll take maybe a couple more minutes because I'm still writing some things. So it usually 2 or 3 minutes. I put my headphones on because I don't want anyone to talk to me. And it's at church, a lot of people will like to communicate and stuff, which is great, but I'm not done yet, so get out. And then I've got my headphones on and somebody comes up to me and hands me this. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Taps me on the shoulder, hands me this. Hi, out of character for me to do this. I see you at the chapel often. That's what the name of the church is called, the chapel. Diligently taking notes. Do you have a willingness to share your thoughts? I would have said something to you today, but you put your headphones on right after service. You're darn right I did. I didn't want to disturb you. Have a great afternoon. So I'm like, oh, somebody liked my notes enough to be out of character to write me an actual card from the church notes and write me this note and say, hey, that this really, this is impressive to me or whatever. And I was like, wow, even the stuff that I'm doing for me to help me learn, anchor, absorb, adopt, and apply, that's helping somebody else quietly, influencing somebody else in a good way to help them. And this was today's notes are like this, right? So I'm taking notes about, the topic, and I'm putting little bullet points that I need to know, or I'll put different scriptures in the hearts. I'm not even done playing with that, but God's the manufacturer of love, we're the distributors. They're carrying little baskets, they're little diligent workers, they're carrying stuff, they're distributors. These are the things that I do to kind of help me anchor in. And if there's a title of the teaching, I try to bold it out and make sure that I can see if there's a 3-week, 4-week, 6-week theme, that I have the same kind of logo almost, so that I can delineate between my notes and when they started and stopped on which topics. And quietly somebody just really was inspired enough to stop and be like, hey, would you be willing to share your thoughts on these notes, because you know, I see you taking notes. I know you're intentional and you care about them, and it's like you are influencing people that will never ever tell you. Once in a while you might get the affirmation that somebody's like watching and learning from you and loving what you do for you, not for them, but like they're benefiting, you know? And you never know who's watching. You never ever know. Sometimes you do, but you never know everybody that's watching. And online, I was talking to a friend last night in Australia about this. You might get 2 or 3 likes on a post and engagements, and like, or no engagements even on posts, and that might go on for like 2 or 3 weeks. But if you're posting something that you feel so good about and compelled, and you just gotta get it out, or you do a video that you're like, I don't even care if anyone shows up, because this is like, I'm good at this, I've got something to say, it needs to be said, it has to get out, I feel powerful in it, I'm doing it. Those are the moments where you don't really care about the vanity metrics and the optics, and you just show up and do it. And those are the things that influence people, whether they say it or not, whether they tell you or not, they are watching. And that's why I see people in the online space with minimal following, unimpressive following in terms of numbers, if we're talking about numbers and what you think they should be doing in order to earn a certain amount of money. Few thousand followers maybe. Not a ton, and for a few thousand followers, you know, 20, 15, 33 maybe likes, a couple comments, no comments on their stuff, they're making millions of dollars a year. Because not everyone's gonna write to you and tell you how that post made them feel. Not everyone exposes themselves emotionally about something that you did that might have really resonated with them. Because maybe it struck a deep chord, a really important chord, a really private chord, and they're not talking about it. So keep going. Don't push it, don't force it, don't do what you think you should be doing. Do what you feel led to do. Do what you can't help but get out. Do what you have to do. Do it for you. And if anyone else wants to come see, great. But like, do it for you, because you have this work to do. People are watching and they might not ever say it, but you're gonna affect change no matter what, as long as you keep doing what you need to be doing. I love you. You are wonderful. It is freezing here, but I really like that when I'm bundled up and I can get a deep cold breath and it feels super refreshing. Wherever you are in the world, keep going. Your work is important. You are important. You're so important. So I can't wait to connect with you soon.